Hello my gorgeous friends. If you are on TikTok, you have most likely seen Meredith Duxbury and her general face routine and how she does her base makeup. And I don't know about you, but I have been fascinated by it because every time I look at it, I'm like, how does that work? I don't understand. And I've been having a lot of intrusive thoughts of, why don't you try that, Teresa? So I actually had some time today and I figured, why not give it a go? So I want to do exactly what she does. I've watched a lot of her TikTok videos now to try and figure exactly what her routine is. So I'm all prepped. I have put moisturizer on. I am ready. But I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do one half of my face using the Meredith Duxbury sort of technique, and then the other half doing what I would generally do, exact same products, so we can really see, is it the products that she's using or is it the technique that she's using? She is an absolutely stunning girl, so I think she could kind of do anything and look amazing. But what is it going to look like on my haggard face? That is always the question. So if you are interested in that, then do please keep on watching. I look like I'm about to do flash dance to you guys. I'm going to be honest, not against it. I'm living my 80s vibes. So one of the things that she does is she mixes a lot of foundations, and I fudging love that. I think that's amazing. Okay, so the first thing that she does is put on primer. Totally agree. I'm using this Ulla Henriksen. It's the Banana Bright Primer. She tends to just kind of slather it on, but I'm going to do this half of the face using Meredith's technique and this half doing mine. So let's get into it. So she tends to just kind of take her product and just rub it in. Now, full disclosure, I have done full moisturizer. I slathered myself in hyaluronic acid. I mean, too much of it came out of the tube. So we're gonna deal with that. But I mean, we've got our primer over on this side. She does tend to rub it in. Now, the way that I personally like to do it, and this is almost gone, good lord, I am using up a lot of products at the moment. I'm kind of here for it. I mean, I'm pretty much at the end of this, to the point that I am going to take what is left out of this tube. There we go. Probably a bit more than is necessary. But how nice is it that I actually get to pan something? I don't know about you guys, but I feel an incredible sense of happiness, contentedness when I've actually managed to pan something. So I tend to just kind of tap in a primer rather than rub it in, mostly because I'm concerned with pilling and stuff. So I tend to pat it in. I also tend to wait a little bit and stare into the distance, thinking about things, you know. But this is how I put on primer. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just to let it kind of soak in, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the actual foundation. One of the things that I found quite interesting about Meredith's technique is that she doesn't actually use any sort of concealer to spot conceal, mostly because her skin is fucking perfect. She does not have blemishes in the way that I do. I'm almost finished this. Can I just say this is a video of the shit that Teresa's actually managed to use up, and I'm quite happy about it. So my primer is pretty much ready, so I'm just spot concealing over on my side. So I just have to pop that in all the places that are appropriate, where I have all of those little spots. My goodness. I do have to let that sit for a little while, but that does mean that we can start into the absolute wizardry of mixing of the foundations, and I'm kind of here for that. I think that's kind of cool. It kind of brings me back to when I was a kid, and I don't know if anyone else did this. You probably did. This is not something that is unique to me, but I used to go outside into the garden and pick leaves and mud and dirt and make potions and mix them all together. So this is kind of bringing me back to that, and gotta say, Meredith, I enjoy that part of things. In true Meredith fashion, I'm actually going to take a couple of different foundations. Now, instead of putting it onto my hand, because I want to be able to use the same sort of foundations, I'm putting it onto this little mixing plate. I got this from Titmouse Cosmetics. They're fabulous, and I have a whole chunk of ones that I actually plan on using here. Again, some stuff that I kind of want to use up. And no, naughty me. I'm going to use a little bit of this Revolution. Now, it's It's the Conceal and Define. I don't personally buy from Revolution anymore, but there you go. And it's kind of annoying because it's not a pump, but sure, we'll pour out quite a chunk there. That'll do, I think. Meredith, yeah, we cool with that. And I'm gonna use a little bit of the e.l.f. kind of liquid filter because I like to mix that in with this. And again, just gonna, because this is a doe foot as well. Ooh. We're getting into it. Then I have a little bit of It Cosmetics. This is actually like a proper pump one. So let's 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll do surely. And then maybe like 2 squirts of Nabla, that'll do. Like, I feel like I'm definitely hitting Meredith's sweet spot there. That's a lot of foundation. Like, that is a lot of foundation. Now she uses the handle of a brush to actually mix it. I'm not going to do that. I am just going to use this sort of a metal-y thingy, and I'm going to mix this around to kind of get a little bit more around here. So actually it's quite a bit of foundation, to be fair. I don't really know how this is going to go, but like that's a lot, isn't it? Or is that just me? Should I put more? Yeah, I'll put a bit more. I'm actually going to put another 2 squeezes of Nabla and 1 more pump of It Cosmetics. Not 2 pumps of It Cosmetics. Why not? It's mad science. Let's give it a go. And I'm just swirling that around there. Oh my god, gotta say, it's kind of fun. Like, you know, it's makeup. Like, it's not that big a deal. Now, I've taken off all of my rings, etc. Sahil panicked when he saw me coming down the stairs and he's like, "Where's your wedding ring?" I was like, everything's fine. It's okay, don't worry. I can actually pat out this concealer now, so we should be okay. I know I'm gross. I'm using my fingers. Isn't that disgusting? Straight to makeup hell with me. I feel like my skin is so weirdly overly hydrated almost that like the product is just going to fall off, but like, we'll see. I have a damp beauty blender here, and I mean, yeah, let's try it. What's the worst that could happen? I totally screw up my what you call it? Makeup desk. Yeah. That'll do, surely. We'll see. So she puts it even around like the eyes. I'd say I'll definitely have to take a little bit more. So she kind of puts it around the eyes as well, which kind of stresses me out whenever I look at it. Because I'm just thinking about how eyeshadow is actually going to perform at that point. And then under here, I mean, it is giving quite a bit of coverage, to be fair. When you see the other half of my face, you're like, oh my god, you look insane. Fair. I'll take another little bit, actually. Why not? In for a penny, in for a pound, like. I love the smell of the It Cosmetics one. It's like kind of zesty. Yeah. And I'm kind of trying to bring it as close up here as possible. Yeah. I mean, I look insane. I always do. So, like, no major difference there. So now it's all about the blending. She says things like blend, 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 and trust the process. And I don't think, well, obviously Meredith does not know me. But Meredith, I have trust issues. So I'm just going to do that now. And it doesn't look bad, like, you know. I think you see though, she uses more full coverage foundations than I do. I am more of like a medium coverage gal. And she said that part of where she came out with this idea from was foundation is so expensive. She was spending like $50 on a bottle and most of it was getting sucked up by the sponge, to which I say, just use a brush, my love, they're fantastic. But she was saying so much of it was getting soaked up and she really wanted to cover her freckles, which makes me so sad. Freckles are stunning. I love freckles with all of my stupid heart. Like, I love them so much. So actually, I gotta say, this is looking pretty nice. I might actually just take, I have quite a bit of this left over. What I'll do is I'll probably take a little bit more actually, because I feel like I probably didn't even do the exact amount that she'd be looking for. Yeah, let's do it. Like, let's go for it. And we'll do more blend, blend, blend. And she brings even the foundation all the way under the eye. But I will say, like, I personally wouldn't do that. I can feel this bloody headband slipping. I personally wouldn't do that because I have like lines and stuff under my eyes because I'm old and I'm dying. So I don't do that because it just doesn't look great on me. I don't know how she does all of that, like with nails and stuff, because like surely so much product must get under her nails. Like that would drive me nuts. But I feel like it doesn't actually look that bad. But I'm saying all of this like in front of like loads of lights and stuff. I don't know how it would look in natural light. God, these bloody headbands. This is pissing me off more than anything else. Just trying to keep that onto my damn head. Maybe it's that my head is just too big and I just can't contain it. Just can't contain it, y'all. Like I feel like she spends a lot of time like blending and stuff like that. Is quite full coverage. So what I'm going to do then from my side is I don't tend to put foundation absolutely everywhere. I like to take the foundation that I have. I usually do put it out onto one of these like little blendy bits. I have a lot left over. And I like to coat the flat part of the sponge so it looks a little something like this. And I like to start out over on the cheeks. And the reason why is if I put it onto like chin and nose first, if I have lots of excess product there, it's more likely to separate. And that just ain't a good look for me. I don't know about you guys, but it don't work that great for me. So I am just using like one pump. I will also say this isn't technically how I would normally do it, because I would normally do my eye makeup first. So this is like, even for me, this is like a little bit different. I love how I've accidentally like put like foundation on my eyelid. Again, I wouldn't normally do that. It's just, you know, because I don't have my eyelids done first. I'm like all discombobulated. God damn you, hair. God damn you. Trying to tame you. Then the next thing that she does is she goes in with her concealer, and she does a lot of concealer. Like she goes like full beauty YouTuber circa 2018. There's like a bit up here. I'm using, by the way, like a concealer that I don't love. I think she puts a bit down here as well. Now I don't do that much myself. That stresses me out, but trust the process, as the lovely lady says. And I can definitely feel that headband is doing its own thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm necessarily converted on this. Like, it's a lot of product to use. I think it is dependent upon the type of products that you're using. But yeah, blending obviously is like key for all of these, and that makes sense to me. I had to have a fight with this bloody headband. It just keeps wanting to leave me. What I do a little bit differently is I don't put quite as much concealer because again, I get a lot of like creasing and stuff. That's just part of life, and I like to put a little dot here and a little dot there, and I don't really tend to put concealer many other places. I tend to like put a little bit like along there, and that's it. Like I don't really tend to like try and put stuff onto my forehead. I know exactly what it is that she's doing there, which is like, you know, bringing light up there, etc. But because my forehead is massive, I don't want to be drawing attention to that personally. But I gotta say, I don't think her technique is necessarily like bad. I don't know if it necessarily works for me. But you know, such is life. And then again, I just blend out here myself. So you can see I use significantly less product than Meredith actually does. But again, like that's just like down to personal preference. Like there's nothing wrong with that sort of thing. Now she does the powdering thing a little bit later than I do, but because I've just done my concealer, what I typically do is I take my little velour powder puff. It's from Shein. I know, I'm dreadful. I've got Trigo, but I haven't tried it yet. And I tap off the excess and just kind of tap a little bit down here just to help set it a little bit more. Now she uses a lot of powder in her videos, so I'm going to be interested to see how that works for me. The next thing then she does is bronzer, and I gotta say this is I think where I get a little bit like ha ha ha, because she uses a lot of it, like a lot. I'm not going to be like really dramatic and be like, oh my god, I'm so scared, because like it's just fucking makeup. But she puts like a lot. I'm using a Made by Mitchell one, by the way. It's the Hollow there. I'll have some links etc down below. Some of them will be affiliate because I am disgusting. And yeah, even Made by Mitchell's like, girl, you are not meant to be using that much. Sometimes she like applies it with her finger as well. She has like this sort of like, I don't want to say finger condom, but it's like this sort of fabric, and like she puts it like on in that way. I feel like even here I am not putting on enough, because I feel like she puts way more on here than that. Oh god, this is like, if anyone knows me, I'm cool with being pale, so like adding this much bronzer is very much not my jam. Very much not my jam. But this is where she's like, blend, blend, blend. So, you know, we'll see. So we're going to pretend that I've seen what the sun is like. Very exciting. And I will say, like, I'm using products that I generally have a decent amount of faith in. So, like, I know that, like, the Made by Mitchell one will actually, I mean, look at that. That's blended out really nicely. I haven't had to worry too much about that. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Whereas over on my side, I tend to just be a little bit more loosey-goosey. I'll do like a little bit here and a little bit there. That's it. That's as much as I use, like 3 dots, 3 dots. I like the number 3. I'm a little bit weird and pedantic on that. And just blend, blend, blend. But yeah, you can already see here I don't look quite as harsh over here on this side. Maybe that's just me imagining things, who really knows. And then she does use a lot of liquid products, and I gotta say I appreciate that. I love a liquid product, because for me I find them to be like the most flattering. I know at the moment she's favouring the whole Charlotte Tilbury cheek pop thing, but they did at one point lose their shit over this P. Louise, and she likes to do 3 dots, which I feel is like a lot. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. That's, should I put more? I feel like she does more. Yeah, we'll do another bit. When in doubt, go overboard. And blend, blend, blend. I don't feel like this looks that bad, you know? But again, I'm under harsh lights. I think the bit that annoys me the most is like my lips. Like they are dry, the dry guys. I don't think I actually have a major difference in terms of how I do blush either, because, you know, like I do kind of do it in a very, very similar way. Like for me, I am also like putting a decent amount on. I tend to put on about this much. So again, I think we're very, very similar in how much blush we're putting on. Like I like blush. Can you tell? I feel like maybe this side might have more colour, weirdly. Although I've used a lot less product. Should I put a bit more over here on the Meredith side? Because I feel like she'd be all like, Teresa, that I would put way more blush on. Fair girl, fair. This poor sponge, it's gone through it. I don't think I've ever had this much product on a sponge in my entire life. What she does then, she doesn't seem to tap off the excess of the powder. You know, to each their own, and she just kind of goes straight on in with her like little velour puff thing, and she kind of just is like pressing it like everywhere, which I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Now of course if you're pressing this in, it's going to like kind of change the color a little bit of like the intensity of the things that you've done, which is grand if that's what you want to do, which is then why I think I see her going in with quite a few powder products, because she's building up that sort of intensity yet again, which, you know, grand. But I feel like she's just using so much product, and her rationale was she didn't want to use as much product. because it kept getting soaked up by the sponge, and it just, you know, the math ain't quite mathing with me, is what I want to say. But you know, to each their own. Like, it doesn't look bad at all. What I actually tend to do at this point, I also use a little bit of powder, but I use kind of a kabuki sponge, or a kabuki brush rather, and I put it all over, and I'm trying to get rid of some of the powder that I put under the eyes, just so it's not quite as manicky looking. And now this is where she starts to go back in with like her powder products and is like kind of adding them in to get back that little bit of dimension, which I get, I understand that kind of makes sense to me, because I would kind of do the same sort of thing as well. It doesn't look as harsh as I thought it was all going to look. Like on her videos, they all look really, really harsh. I kind of do the same thing here. I don't add as much bronzer because I don't like bronzer that much. I know, I just feel like it does not suit my face, you know? The Irish are not meant to have seen the sun. That's all I'm saying. And then again, she starts adding a little bit of blush. I'm using some P. Louise ones because I actually quite like them. I hate to say that, but I'm gonna do my side first to mix it on up, guys. I like to put it all the way up to the eye because, well, why not? And a little boopy snoot on the schnoz. And I do appreciate that she is quite a blush gal as well. I feel just like blush is the jam these days, or is it maybe just me? I love it. And then she goes in with like a highlighter. I'm using this Rare Beauty one because it is spectacular. I actually prefer to put this on with a finger. So she kind of just goes in like that. Again, totally agree. What I actually like to do is actually add a little bit of like a cream highlighter on top as well because I'm gross. There's the one from the Ciate London Robert Welch and it makes me want to die. It's amazing. It's so pretty. So with this one, like I said, I do like to add it with my finger because I feel like it gives a little bit more of a blinding thing because that's what I like. And it's all about me, guys. All about me. I have to put a bit up there and a bit here just to be like, hey, I have a chin. I do. Can I be weird though? I think this is the bit that I'm the most interested in because she doesn't really seem to use any eye primers. Now I've put mine down, it's a MAC paint pot, and I'm just going to do something like really, really quick and really, really simple just to see, like, are we getting creasing? Are we getting folding? Are we getting patchiness? Like, what exactly is happening? So I'm just putting like a dark kind of shade down here. It's, by the way, from Gloss Gods. It's their neutral remixed palette and it is stunning. Very, very pretty. But I want to see how it actually performs when I'm using the exact same palette on an eye base versus she used foundation. Like, it's like you would assume, because foundation is more moisturizing, you need something that is like a little bit more like matte, a little bit sticky, something that has a little bit of grip. So I'm honestly like a little bit like, how are you making that work for you, girl? She never seems to like take it off. She seems to just kind of pop the eyeshadow on top of the foundation. So like I said, I am intrigued. Let's see what the story here is. Now I could have been really mean and like tried a purple shade because let's be real, purples are patchy, but I was like, let's go with a brown. That's a little bit more Meredith's sort of thing. She likes a little bit of like neutral. I mean, so far, nothing wild. It's definitely changing the colour of it, I think, which you kind of would expect. By the way, I hate doing eyeshadow after I have just done a base. It stresses me out. I don't know how she does it. And particularly when she has so many layers of makeup. Does she not kind of like worry? Actually, this is strange because it's not skipping and patching up in the way that I thought it was going to. So this is definitely quite an interesting one. What I will say though is you can kind of see where the foundation has kind of worked its way into the creases on my eyelids because that's the way my eyes are. They're old, they're creasy. She has young eyelids, so they don't do the crease. Oh, I remember those days. I definitely did not appreciate them in a way that I should have. And I want to see then like how this compares again once I'm putting another matte in here. How is it going? I mean, obviously I'm using my much beloved paint pot over here on this eye, so I have a general idea. I'm not having any like major issues, which I wouldn't have expected to anyway, because again, this is a trusted palette, trusted MAC paint pot. Like it's all kind of working in the way that I would expect it to. And yes, I know, me doing neutrals is very strange. It's like seeing a dog walking on its hind legs. You know it's possible, but it still kind of catches you off guard and you think, huh, that's a bit different. So you can kind of see I haven't had any major issue here. There's no skipping, there's no, like, except in my heartbeat, because, you know. But there's nothing like that. That's actually okay. Now I know I don't have it perfectly blended. That's not the point. But I want to see how this is going on over here. By the way, I did do my like brows off because she never really seems to show what she's doing with her brows. So I just was like, fuck it, just do what you normally do, you big idiot. Yeah, this is not applying as easily. See, I'm having to go in a couple of times and it is definitely kind of gathering in a few places. So I feel like this technique, don't know why she does it around the eyes, it's definitely impacting the way that eyeshadow can lay down. So, you know, it's not, in my opinion, if she wants to do that, grand, like that's fine. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do with their makeup. It's all personal preference, personal choice. But she might get a slightly better effect if she just at least doesn't bring the foundation onto the eyes and instead uses like a primer. That might work a little bit better for her. Again, everything I'm saying, I'm just a makeup enthusiast. I'm not a professional makeup artist by any stretch of the imagination. Like, you can get it to work. You definitely can. But I feel like they're not as true to colour. So just keep that in mind. And then I'm just taking a shimmer just to see how they look. No major issue over here, obviously. And same sort of patting motion, just as an FYI. Yeah, it doesn't hold it quite as well, in my opinion. Like, you have to go back in a few times with it. So not the best for that. But I'm just kind of going to blend that a little bit just so it is a little bit more natural and not quite as like in your face. And same for over here. Again, I feel like you can tell, or at least I can tell, the difference between the two eyes. They're not equal, you know? Like, I think this one looks a little bit better than this one. Just my opinion. We're basically near the end. I personally always like to get a little bit of a cream highlighter. This is the Dewy Stick, which came with the Ciate London Robert Welsh collection. It's fabulous. I just love it for that little bit of like extra deliciousness. I've never seen like Meredith do that herself, so I'm like, maybe I should leave that side alone. Just, you know, for posterity to actually have it be as close to her as possible, even though the lack of symmetry drives me bananas. So we're pretty much at the end. I know, thankfully, she does take off her foundation off of her lips, which, thank goodness. Before that though, I'm going to have a little bit of a glow mist slash, well, it is just a glow mist, it's not a setting spray. Just because, like, by the way, my skin feels heavy, like very, very heavy, particularly this side. It feels very, very dry, and I personally do not like that feeling. That might just be a me thing. But I have this new Fenty lipstick and it's in this shade HBIC. So I really wanted to try that, and I'm going to pair it with a Morphe lip liner. I know, hard to believe that I'm talking about them, but it is in the shade Mina. When I tell you that foundation got everywhere, it was even on my glasses. Like, it is everywhere. I will never escape from this. Okay, so that is essentially it. This is what it looks like under all of these harsh lights, but I'm going to bring you to a window where there is natural lights and we can really see what it looks like. I know I said natural light, but it's natural light in Ireland at like 5 p.m. So this is what it actually looks like. And I gotta say, it isn't that bad. Like, this is a lot of blush. It does look a little bit manic. You can kind of see the patchiness in terms of the eyeshadow. Around the nose, it's looking good, but I will say I didn't have any dryness around here. I have very bad dryness here. But I actually think there's a very similar effect across both. And I will also say I started this side of the face had way more blemishes and spots than this side. I gave the best possible side of my face to do the Meredith Duxbury sort of challenge. This is definitely, that's my better half, guys. My better half of my face. By the way, really liking this lipstick. But you can see it actually doesn't look that bad. I thought I'd see loads of separation. But it's not bad actually at all. The main areas that I have issues is actually over on my side again, because this is where all my weird problematic skin actually is. So I'd kind of be interested to see what the technique would look like over here. And then this is what the forehead actually looks like. I can't see it right now, but let me know what you think. Is there a difference across both sides? Because when I was looking at it earlier, it looked like there really wasn't. I was obviously like really skeptical when I started this because, you know, Meredith is using a phone, like a phone camera, and the quality on that isn't amazing. Whereas like an actual like camcorder, video camera will give you way more information as to how this actually looks. And I have to say, it's not that bad. Maybe I didn't use quite as much as she would. I feel like I did. I used like half of it, like about at least 5 to 6 pumps on this side, and I didn't use as much on this side. I do feel like I get a very similar effect though, so I don't think you need to use as much product, but maybe that's just me. So my gorgeous friends, that is actually it. I don't think there's a massive difference between the two sides. Obviously this side had way more blemishes, so we weren't starting with the best possible comparison. I don't hate it. Like, I don't think it's actually bad per se. Would I necessarily do it again? No, because I think you can get a very similar effect with an awful lot less product. I can see it's definitely all about the blending. That makes sense. There's been a lot of talk of like, I bet she goes off camera and like washes it all off. I actually don't think she does. I don't think she does. And it doesn't look bad in natural light. It really doesn't. But you can't really tell that this half of the face used one technique and this half used a totally different technique. You know, it does kind of blend because I am using the exact same products. I don't think it's necessary, lads. I really don't. But it's grand. If you want to try it and you want to like have a fun little day doing something different, why not? You know? But my friends, that is it. At least now I can stop thinking about what this would actually look like on my face. I know what it looks like on my face. We're done. And I still have so much foundation under my fingernails. Thank goodness I'm giving them a different paint colour tonight. That really needs to be done. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on those notification bells so you can see more videos. And always leave suggestions down below as to what you want me to do, try out, etc. Because I am always looking for ideas and I'm too lazy to think of any myself. So generate some ideas for me. And of course, don't forget to share because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, you know, wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it, that's the end of the video and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.